Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
The good brother.
Chance the Rapper.
Yo,
What's up, my brother?
Welcome,
Hey, man.
welcome.
Thanks for having me, man.
How are you? And I really mean that. How are you?
I'm good, yo. Thank you for It's been a long time since I've been up here, so appreciate y'all having me back,
I
yo.
remember first time you was here, I had never heard any of your music.
I remember that.
I didn't
it was
understand
awkward.
what the hype was.
You kept asking me what my song was. I'm like, listen to Ass Rap. That's my project. He's like, but what's the song, Chance?
That was it.
I'm like, yo, just listen to Ass Rap. But where can I hear the song? I don't know. I don't have a single.
But I judged the book by its cover because, like I told you before, the album was called Acid Rap. I'm
yes.
like, I don't want to hear another drugged out rapper.
Yeah.
And you are the complete opposite of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not a drugged out rapper anymore. So phases. Phases in life.
Last time you were here, you weren't married. Now you are.
Yes.
Congratulations,
I like
baby.
Thank you.
Welcome to the club. We out here. We out here.
Congratulations.
Wedding gang. Wedding gang. That's right. That's right.
Got some ice in your joint too.
You got some ice in yours,
You know what I'm
too.
saying? I'm trying to, be like.
Did you pick
man.
your own ring, or how does that work when you got yours?
It did kind of work like that. Me and my wife went to the spot, and we bought each other's rings. So she got mine. I was gonna get a, like the regular silver band, and then she got like a 3-part ring with like all these diamonds. So I was just like, can I get a little bit of diamonds in mine? And so she got
we
me a
can
little
match
bit of
a little?
diamonds. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna lie, social media pissed me off, man, because I don't understand why hip hop has no problem with people talking about degrading women, but when it comes to loving your woman and being with your wife and embracing her and celebrating that, they was giving you flack for it.
Yeah, it's beyond social media. That's just one avenue. You got to understand that, like, there's a spiritual warfare going on. You would agree, right?
Absolutely.
And everywhere we go, beyond just social media or music or whatever. And there's certain things that we would deem important, impactful, positive things for us and our community especially. I would say the number one thing that you could do right now as a black man is find your black woman counterpart and support and lock that down and make something with each other. But that's it's not even, you got to remember, like, our enemy's not of the flesh. Like, it's ideas and things that can take hold of anybody. So you could just be making a joke or a comment and, like, playing along with the meme, because that's what we do on social media is we receive information and then we all comment on it.
Right.
That's how we engage. And you don't ever really think about the person that's being, commented on, or the situation beyond it just being the moment of what's going on. But yeah, it's you just gotta remember who you are, what you're fighting against, and keep it moving, because there's a lot of people that need it, that need to hear it, and you can't be ashamed at any point.
Well, it started at the proposal. Remember the proposal? They were mad. Why did you do it in the backyard?
Yeah.
Party?
Like, why is it that anybody's business
and
where
that's what
I
he
do
said.
it
We
and
don't
what
know
the significance
of what it was or how it happened.
Yeah, it was actually I remember that. I remember that very well. Yeah, that was my grandmother's backyard. That's where my family is like the type of family where we keep all the houses from like the 30s and stuff. Like, it's like I was raised in the house that my dad grew up in, which is the house that my grandmother grew up in, which is the house that my great grandmother owned. So like, we got houses that are passed down. So it's like, a lot of things happen at these places, and that was where I got engaged, and actually where I shot the album cover also.
Now, you talk about social media, and that's why I asked you, how are you? Like, has social media ever driven you to the edge? Because I saw when you tweeted out, people want you to commit suicide. So when I said, how are you, I really meant that. Like, how are you?
And I didn't mean all people. I meant some people. That's why I said some people, because like I was just saying about the spiritual warfare, like, it can push you to a certain point. Everybody handles things differently. Now, I'm somebody that's, very deeply rooted in my faith. So, like, and I'm not saying that to say that negates, like, mental health issues and it's like that's all you need. But I needed in that moment when I said that, and there was a few things I said afterwards, I wanted to just call out that energy and call out that spirit. And I think we're lucky at this point because we're very privy, like, we publicly know about COINTELPRO, the counterintelligence program.
Absolutely.
And so we know that the government, for real, there's files on it, that they work their ass off to dismantle and destabilize mad organizations that were for the movement of our people. And there's documentation that they were not even sending tweets, but calling Martin Luther King directly, like, "Yo, kill yourself."
Well, Martin Luther King didn't have Twitter. But I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But at that, it's like I keep saying, it's spiritual warfare, and you don't necessarily know how everybody's gonna handle it or everybody's gonna deal with it. But yeah, it could push anybody.
But how are you handling it? How are you dealing with it?
I think for a certain period of time, I got confused. I couldn't understand. More so than that feeling directly, the first feeling I felt was like I felt like a lot of people were trying to shame me. You know what I'm saying?
For being married?
Yeah, just for the pride that I had in being married. You know what I'm saying? I understand that it's a different kind of thing. We're not used to albums celebrating marriage, especially not rap albums. But it was like, the meme, like I said, like everybody doesn't have to be in on what the main idea is. You could just jump on and not understand your significance or your role in it. But when I come out and say something like that, I want everybody to feel me. That's what you do as an artist. You want people to feel you and say,
and it's your reality too.
Yeah.
This is what really just happened. It's my big day. I've been with her forever. We've been through a lot of things together. We came back together.
Yeah.
You admitted to certain things you've done. Like you said you cheated and you said you didn't treat her the
Black
best.
men
in the
don't
past.
cheat, Chance.
Yeah.
And you learn from that.
But that's the thing is like when we say that sometimes like it gets filtered into a joke, but I feel like it's not even like black men have never cheated. It's like
We want
black
to do better.
men, comma, don't cheat.
Yeah.
Like to my black brothers out there, don't cheat. One of
Yes.
the best things you could do is celebrate your woman and give her a
Correct.
faithful relationship and be the person that she could actually count on. And so I think in part, when you have certain messaging like I do, sometimes it makes people detract because some people feel shamed. And the more you listen to the album, the more you get into it, the more a lot of people have come to me and told me like, yo, this is like, this makes me feel right. This makes me feel good.
Right.
And even when there was dissonance at a certain point, I got through it and I understand like this is uplifting.
Right.
And I think just being honest, I felt all of this pressure coming from one place, which is the internet, which is like your most direct source of like getting information about how people feel about you. And I kind of like just misrepresented the value of it in my own mind and thought that it was heavier than it was. And I wasn't really going outside or reaching the people or really understanding what they mean. And I think a big thing that people need to understand, and you guys understand this, and people that are artists understand, but for fans, is like, you don't know what artists are going through other than what they give you.
Right.
So me, I'm an artist that like every album is about what I'm going through. I made an album about getting suspended. I made a project about
10 days.
acid. I made a project about God. Like it's about what I'm going through. So they get that information, but your fans don't know every time somebody in your family passes away.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't know what you're going through.
They don't know. They only know what information you give them. So like, they could be, seeing certain information coming out or seeing certain reactions to something, and it's like Twitter forces you to be hot or cold. Like it's like, you know what I'm saying? Or Instagram forces you just like, I'm either with this or I'm against this with each piece of information. But you don't necessarily always have all the information up front, or you might be getting delivered to something that isn't necessarily even representative of what you want, but it's like you got to comment on it.
I want to unpack a few things you said, because you said a lot just now. First of all, so you think that COINTELPRO was targeting you?
No, what I'm trying to say is you have to understand that it's not a fantastical idea that people want you to self-destruct.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
I'm not calling myself Martin Luther King before that becomes the headline. What I'm saying is, and there's a lot of situations of it, like we're just typing words. So when you say something that offends somebody, you always feel like, how could that have bothered them?
Right.
Like how does these words bother them? But then everybody's been on the other side of seeing some words on the internet and being like, clutches pearls. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Human,
Like,
absolutely.
How does your wife handle it? Because I'm sure she's not asking to
She's
be
really
in the
good.
spotlight. She's
Yeah.
not asking to be famous, but it's just she might catch some of those stray bullets because she's
she's much better at it. So for one, she doesn't scour through social media. I'm an independent artist, so
Right,
I'm
you
looking.
see it.
I gotta look up everything. I'm retweeting everything all day. I'm replying to people all day. I'm doing like everything I can to kind of, just keep the shit going.
Pushing this out, right?
My wife does not give a fuck about Instagram or Twitter. Like,
Good
so
for her.
she's in a much better place than me, and it helps me to be able to go to her and be like, babe, these niggas is bothering me. and she be getting that, yo, shut up. Like, I need you to help me move this couch. Like,
But I commend you for it, though. And we talked about this before. Growing up on music, we always heard bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. And it was so disrespectful to women. As a man, you kind of live that life because that's what you see. But for you, it's a little different when my kids listen to your music or I listen to your music. I love to see that positivity. It's a welcoming feeling.
yeah, man. It's like you could only say what you've experienced. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, some people are great at making up narrative, and like, there's rappers that have been married for years that are completely faithful to their wives, but they still got bitches and hoes lyrics. And it's like,
That's so
and
whack.
I think it's like, the truth is, it's like climate, right? Like, that's the reason why there's a dissonance when something that's super different comes out, is because it's set up to be one frequency. Like, that's why most of the time when you playing songs on the radio, they're all around similar BPM. They all mostly use 808s. They all mostly have a certain bounce to them, because it comes in waves. And every once in a while, there's something that's completely new that comes kind of in between it, and it's a disruptor, and it changes music a little bit, and it changes people's perspective. But yeah, man, all I know right now is like, is what I could.
What's
is
happening?
What, absolutely.
You know
What's
what's crazy
happening
is that
to me
even with R&B and with certain types of music, it feels like people like the breakup albums and R&B,
Oh, yeah.
and they like when you're not happy. And for some reason, people aren't drawn to like.
Isn't that deep?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of stuff where like, and it hasn't even just been about me. Like, I remember reading it about people like Ye in the past and other artists, like how they were saying like a broken heart makes the best music, or like, you know, you need your artist to be
In pain.
to make the best art. But it's like, that's so dark, yo. What the
is.
fuck?
It
Like,
is.
you know what I'm saying? Like, we're as real people, as people that just, you know, live and breathe and take shits and will die eventually, like, as regular people, you know, like, we strive to be happy, to feel success. Like, that's what all we want. And we want people to be happy first, too. And I think it's a strange idea that some people want the music to be dissonant, because at the core of it, like, you listen to music based off of what you're feeling at that moment. So even if you like a sad song today, that doesn't mean you're gonna play it every fucking day, because you don't want to be sad all the time.
Right.
So I think it's like something to think about. Something that I've been thinking about too is just like what type of stuff we let in, like what type of music we let in, because everything has messaging.
Everything.
Even if it's not, like, you know, like, people have said that my music has heavy messaging in it even before this album, but it's like literally everything. If you break it down, any song that you listen to, popular or not popular, there's something that they're trying to get across to you. And you just got to be careful about our intake and examining everything that we listen to.
And I'm glad that you're having this conversation, because I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw that tweet, I was like, all right, Chance may be going through it, but I said, I hope he's just not upset because of the reception to the big day. Like, how did you?
I mean, the reception was great, to be honest. Like, that's the thing. Like, you gotta also understand narrative. Like, there were like a lot of bot accounts and a lot of people that were like, you know, kind of trying to go crazy on my account, and like every time I'll retweet a fan saying that they love the album, they like jump under that person's comments and be like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" But it's like, that's why it's good to go outside too, because when you go outside, you could feel real love. You could have conversations with people. People tell you things that they might not never tweet.
Right.
A nigga that was a manager, I'm not even gonna put out all his business, but he told me something the other day. I was at the Four Seasons Hotel, and he said something really deep about his own marriage and its relation to my album that just came out 4 weeks ago, The Big Day, and it changed my perspective yet again on what that project means and what it'll continue to mean for people, because people aren't gonna stop getting married. Like, it's just like things come to people in waves, and so I feel like my purpose of putting out that tweet was, sometimes you gotta let them know that you see what's going on. You can't always just be like, all right, I'm gonna put my head down, and sometimes you gotta be like, hey, no, I see exactly what this is, and just know I'll never kill myself. I'll never self-destruct. I'll never self-impose, harm or hurt or danger to myself. So like, but sometimes you got to come out and be like, hey, I'm living through this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going through this. I'm living through this. And so I appreciate one, people's sensitivity to mental health at this point, because I feel like that could have also become like a massive joke in some sort. But really, if you read the tweets, like, just it's pretty well explained, like exactly how I felt and what I was, or exactly how I felt. Some people felt, and exactly how I felt at that time.
Is there anything you'd have changed about the album? Because my only critique of the album was it was too long.
A lot of songs.
Like, it was longer than Wendy Williams' Legs. There was a lot of material on it. I
think no. Weddings are long, for one. Two,
planning a wedding is long.
Yeah,
right.
So I felt like 22 tracks, but 19 songs with 3 skits. I think that's the perfect explanation of my wedding day. Like, that's how it feels. And also that it is, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of the music on it is based off of the reception, off of like the music that was played at it. And when you're at your wedding, like, it's a lot of different kinds of music that are playing. They had a lot of different songs, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, you had En Vogue on there. I love En Vogue.
Yeah, and that means
Ari
love
Lennox
to some
on the
people.
same album.
I don't think people understood the narrative of your album, bro. I think when they
I
saw
think
the
a
CD
lot of
cover
people did.
and it said The Big Day, I think they was thinking about your album release.
Right, yeah, it's
No,
the
the Big Day is all about the wedding.
No, I get it. I understand it.
Yeah.
But
No, I think a lot of people love the album because it has something for everybody on it, and it's so true. You know what I mean? And it's not often that you get an album that's gonna really fully show you who's making it. You'll get albums that feel good or sound good or work well in terms of, like, I don't know what an album is supposed to be fundamentally, but like when you get something new and it's something from somebody that you know but you don't know everything about, and it reveals more to you, that's when people, like, they can really connect to something. And I feel like the overall album was supposed to be about Black love and nostalgia. And for the people that got it, and they was like, they're like, yo, I love the house music influence.
Right.
I love that you had Randy Newman from Toy Story on it. It brought me back. I love all
like
these
a party.
90s. It's a lot of nostalgia and a lot of partying and a lot of blackness. Shout out to Jack A. Harry.
Very Chicago.
You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cree Summer, to Keith David, to John Witherspoon, to like these black actors that for me were some of the most pivotal family members that I had, even though they're not related to me. A lot of people that my age grew up in certain movies, ATL, The Boondocks for Friday, watching Sister Sister, that felt like this familial, like, relationship with these people.
Word.
And then when the album plays through, like, they're like, yo, like, it felt like they was talking to
Was
me.
there anybody on your team that said maybe you shouldn't do that? Maybe your fan base is kind of young and might not get it? Was that ever a conversation?
Not really. I think I had those thoughts. I think certain parts of that album I started thinking, and that's why there's certain things in there, I started thinking about, like, okay, everybody that listens to this album obviously not going to be married.
Correct.
A lot of people aren't married. A lot of people that listen to Project are children of divorce, or they've been through a divorce.
Or cheating right now.
Or cheating, or widowed. Think about all the people that were really, really, really in love. They had the greatest love of all time, and then it got cut short. There's parts of the album that reflect on that and the eternity of a real love and the permeation of God and those feelings when you just have that foundation of a real love, like the other people that are benefited by it. And so I think, like, the main thing that people have been able to connect with beyond the music and the songs being good is, like, the statement of it all, like, with each song being a different aspect of it, the statement of it all feels whole. You know what I'm saying?
Do you feel whole at this point in your life?
Yeah, I'm married. I got money.
Kids.
I got a second. My second baby comes next week.
Congrats.
Wow,
Congratulations,
next week.
man.
And yeah, are you nervous that you're out here on the road?
Hell
doing
yeah.
things that
why
I'm sitting
you
with
here?
y'all niggas.
Why are you here?
Because I have a job. That's the thing. It's like, my dad, everybody doesn't know this, but my dad, I gotta say it, probably put the first black president in the White House. And he didn't do that by just being at home with us every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I definitely had a great relationship with my dad. But at one point in my life, he had to go to D.C. And it's the same thing with artists and touring or artists and, making music is like, you have a job and the older your kids get, the more they understand, or sometimes the less they understand what that relationship is. But as long as you still prioritize, you're good.
Who does your pops like? Who do you like for 2020 on the Democratic side? All right there, man.
Well, I haven't made any decisions on it yet. I know who I don't want to see.
Right. Yeah, we all know that. Yeah, gotcha.
Now, can we talk about the music from your reception? How involved were you with picking out what songs were going to be played, and what was that playlist like?
So I was surprised. So my wedding was DJ'd by DJ Nafitz and why am I blanking right now? And who? It wasn't Hot Rod. It's the number one DJ in Chicago, G. Yeah, DJ Ferris.
Shout out to Ferris. What up, Ferris?
Yeah, DJ Ferris DJ my wedding. So imagine that, first of all. Secondly, I had a surprise musical selection for my wife. It was Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond, and Hezekiah Walker came and did a special concert for them. But that was like my input, like my little special piece. But my wife, my wedding party and her wedding party, like the groomsmen and the bridesmaids, whatever they're called, they put together a playlist. So my wife was born in Houston, and a lot of her family is from the South. I was born in Chicago. A lot of my family's from the South. So it was kind of like you get a lot of like Big Mo and Swisher House and certain. Also, her family is from D.C. too, so you get go-go stuff.
Right.
And then my family's from Chicago and from North Carolina and from Atlanta, so you get that side too. And then you also get reminded how many other styles of music are dance wedding music, like beyond the SWVs and the En Vogues and stuff like that. You get slow. You get a Phil Collins song. You know what I'm saying? You'll get like a Stevie Wonder song. You get all these different vibes. And I just remember there was a point during my wedding where my big cousin Brian Mack, he's a pastor now. Shout out to him. He's a pastor in East St. Louis now. He got his own church. He was y'all know the percolator.
Yeah.
Time for the percolator.
Oh, he hit the hardest fucking percolator.
One time for the percolator.
That joint was so fucking hard though. And I remember looking at him and seeing all these people from my life, my grandmother, my other, you know what I'm saying, my teachers that I used to know, my little cousin I used to beat his ass, like all these people that from my life, and he's in the center hitting that joint, and it's like, it's out of pure love for what was going on in my life and our family growing. And that was the moment where I was like, I got to make an album about this. Like I need people to feel, people that aren't here right now. There's no, HD cameras for a reality show. This is hit. So
I don't even know if you can plan to make those kind of timeless records that touch everybody like that. Like it just has to organically, because it just has to organically be done. Like I don't think the person that made the percolator went in there and said, I'm going to make a record that's going to touch everybody and last forever. Like the electric slide, the percolator, like those just gotta kind of come.
I don't know. I think the best joints are the ones that you make. Like a lot of times, like you'll get confused and start to feel like things fall in your lap. You know what I mean? Like it's like a hit's a hit. Like, but especially from where I'm from and where like independents are, like you gotta work your ass off just to work one record, yet alone to build a record, yet alone to build an album. So like understanding that my wedding was the first wedding I went to as an adult. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a lot of friends. They not all getting married.
You've been to a bunch of funerals, but not that many weddings.
Exactly. That's why I moved back to Chicago when I used to live in LA, was because I was only coming back for funerals and weddings, and the funerals were way outpacing the weddings. So when you understand that that's a feeling that everybody doesn't get to get or feel every day, why should I take that in and just hold that and be like, all right, I'll figure out the theme of my next album later. Like, you know what I mean? It's like
that's your
God
life.
serves it up to you on a platter, yo. You gotta either be ignorant or belligerently, like purposely ignoring something to be to not see it when it's right in your face. And like from there, from March, I went to work on Ballin' Flossin' with Shawn Mendes is that vibe, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of records on the album that are dance records because it was the best dancing that I've ever done in my life. I'm a great dancer. Like
what was the first song y'all danced to at the wedding, you and your wife?
We did, do you remember My Love Is Your Love, Whitney Houston?
Yeah.
He's
young. He says this, do we
Chance,
remember?
man. You asking me this stuff? Yes, I know.
Hey, this nigga's not 41. This nigga's like 52. I can't believe this nigga just said,
Grown up.
bro, I'm 36. I remember Whitney.
Yes, I remember My Love Is Your Love. Absolutely.
He said that like it was a super throwback.
We did it with my baby in my hand though too. It was a cool thing. That's like another deep part of it is like beyond we talk about, you know, rappers young getting married, rapping about getting married, all those things is taboos, but like something that's very taboo, even beyond rap, just in my friends group, and like we all talk about this all day, so I'm sure they're watching, and they girls is watching. Like starting off in 2015, I had my daughter with my girl. At the time, we weren't together. Then we got back together shortly after the baby came, and then we spent a long time into it, like
working it out.
Yeah, or not working it out. Yeah, so. And let everybody else get in between it, the media, the courts, everything. And what I can say is that more rarely than people getting married, do people get married to somebody that they already started their family with. Mm-hmm. Especially in my position. Like you get to a certain level of success and they make it feel like certain things can falter, certain things can fall by the wayside. They don't, it's like, oh, you got a Grammy, like you just worry, keep your head low, keep your tunnel vision, and eventually love will come to you. Like, so I'm supposed to wait till I'm like 30 or something, at 32, and then I'm like, okay, now I really need a girl. So then I start dating somebody that I'm trying to convince myself isn't just with me because I'm famous, and then date them for long enough that we end up having another kid, and then we get married. Or we get married, then we have kids, but completely forgetting about or compartmentalizing everything that was before. But the fact that I was able to do that is one, 100% based on the grace of God, and two, a complete anomaly. So like when I'm in a position to hold up my 3.5-year-old daughter at my wedding and announce that I'm about to have another child with my same woman that I've known since I was 9 years old, and I got all my family around, like that's like a once in a lifetime feeling. And it's something that a lot of my homies, like I know deep down, want to feel. You know what I mean?
What made you settle down? Because like, was it a spiritual thing? Because I can't imagine Chance being out here being a grimy ass, just man.
You gotta understand how fucking famous I was. Like shit was
what you mean
easy.
Was?
I know. I'm just saying, like at the time when I was going through that stuff, like
and
you
super
gotta
young still too.
Winning Grammys,
traveling, hotel parties, club after parties. You know, it's a lifestyle.
I've had other artists tell me that. They'd be like, Chance full of shit. Chance really a ratchet ass dude.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not perfect. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely have gotten better, but it was definitely a point in time where there was nobody really telling me that me not marrying my wife was wrong, other than like my wife and very select friends.
Yeah.
And I mean, just being honest, even my parents, like they were like, you know, you have a lot to focus on, a lot to worry about. You are, when I was with her, you are dating her. When I was not dating her, you are paying child support or doing blah, blah, blah. And so it gets rationalized to you that it's like, okay, I made a rap album about God. That's good enough. You know what I'm saying? I rap about God. I'm straight. But like, that shit's not enough. And so when I after living through, all right, on one part, you lose best girl, right? And so you try and find different modes of that, which never really work out. Then two, your relationship with them is deteriorating, and that's one of the only eternal relationships you have. Even if you don't marry a girl, niggas that have kids that's 8 or 9 or older than that understand very well that your BM does not go away. And no matter how much that relationship sours, or you say things that you didn't mean, or you go through the courts and everything, still got to deal with them. So that relationship is deteriorating beyond just like a love level or like a romantic level. Then I'm trying to fucking be you know, having a job and also being a single dad, yo. Being a single dad is tough, yo. Like getting your kids ready. Yeah. I didn't have kids, but getting my kid ready, just like driving around, like just checking on her, making sure she got a nap, all that stuff by yourself, ridiculous, like ridiculous. So like, I think all of those things came to me and were like, this shit not working out, yo. But what's deep is like, I can't really explain what happened on my wife's side because she was good. She had money. She had her own place. She had, you know, opportunities. She had, she was happy. And so I would just say the grace of God is what got me back with her. Like, obviously I figured out what was wrong personally, and I had to have that own personal conviction. But like, it being this good, I can't explain.
There's nothing like that stability in marriage.
Nothing at all.
Nothing
and there was
like
a period
that
of time
family
that she
structure.
really couldn't stand you.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you was a cheater, probably.
Because I was a cheater, and also because we were out of that connected space where we were on the same team. You know what I'm saying? Once that shit goes to court, that's why I keep bringing up court, because it's a lot of people out there. Like, you gotta, like we were just talking about messaging. Everybody is listening. Everybody's taking different things out of everything that we say as a group. I would love for people that's thinking about it or that's on the precipice or the cusp of letting some random, probably white person that can only see your name in black and white letters and has like different relationships with your two attorneys, will never really know who you guys are as person, make a decision that's, and a lot of times, everlasting on your relationship with your child, on who pays for what, on what times you get to see them.
Right.
Like, try and figure it out internally before you go that far. You know what I'm saying?
I could never imagine that.
Yeah, I'm sure both parties never like to have to go to court.
But you
But
also,
sometimes-
you get to a point
Sometimes
where,
if somebody's not taking care of their end of the bargain and not paying and not being receptive to that, sometimes people don't show up at all.
sometimes it's just
And I have to
emotion.
do that.
A lot of times
And
it's just
that too.
emotion. You really love your kid. Your kid is not like a, you know, like a, I don't know, like an idea that's just floating around in space. It's like your kid is a real living person, and they're your kid. They're not anybody else's responsibility. They don't look like nobody. That's your kid.
That's your heart outside your body.
But
Exactly.
Jen, some people don't feel like that. I know dads who will tell the mom, I'm coming to pick her up, and never show up, and have the kids sitting by the door waiting, and not call on Christmas and not call on birthdays. And
what I'll tell you is even if they don't show it or ever have that conversation, randomly they feel it. Because you know what? They got homies that got kids. And one of their friends, if not all of them, one of their friends is taking care of their kids. And I can't go out because I got to go to this thing tomorrow morning with Shorty. I can't do this because, you know, I got, or hey, you want to come to the water park? We all going to the water park. Like, when you, certain things that come across to you that will make you feel that weight, or looking at them that'll make you feel that weight. And then if you are the impervious to pain kind of person that's just like, I'll just pay the money, I don't want to see them motherfuckers. Like, if that's who you are, good, get the fuck away. Like, you're not the right person to be around anyway. But
Okay.
go ahead.
Now I just want to switch gears a little bit because it's starting to sound like your album. You just keep talking about marriage, which is a great thing.
That's what we're here for. The big day. The big day is available right now. There's people that haven't heard the big day. The big day is available at chanceraps.com. It's on all streaming services. If you don't got no money to purchase the album, it's free on SoundCloud. And the Big Day Tour is also live on chanceraps.com.
Now, I see you
I wanna talk about
see
some of
you
your
vaping.
charity work.
I was gonna say, I see you vaping now. So you stopped smoking cigarettes?
Yes. Also,
You
I
can smoke
stopped.
cigarettes?
You knew that.
Yes.
I didn't know.
Like
Chance.
crazy.
The heavy cigarette smoker.
Yes, heavy.
I had no idea.
You also got to remember the last time I was here, I didn't have no Grammys. I didn't have no raps about God. I was the acid rapper when
And
I
you was
came
kind of
in
fat.
last
You lost
time.
a lot of weight too.
I was never fat. I was
never
swole.
fat,
You was a little chubby.
This nigga just be saying anything. You were also darker skinned the last time I
That
met
is
you.
true. That is
That's
also
facts.
true. I got a dermatologist.
Yeah.
That is true.
But
But no
So
more
you
cigarettes.
didn't lose no weight? You definitely lost weight.
I don't think so. You think I lost weight? I got on a jacket. Yeah. I might have got a little bit fit, but I ain't been really working out like that. I just been
But
every
you stopped
month.
smoking cigarettes. That's a good
I
thing. That's
stopped.
a
I
great
stopped
thing.
smoking cigarettes, which usually makes you gain weight. So in November of last year, I took what's called a sabbatical with my wife, and basically, and my daughter and my sister-in-law was one of my best friends. So we all went to Costa Rica, and you don't got to go to Costa Rica, but I will tell you it's beautiful. But we went away, and I left all my cigarettes obviously at home, and what I did was I read 4 books from the Bible, which isn't a large portion of the Bible percentage, but I had never really read the Bible like that.
What books were they? Proverbs, I'm sure, was one.
No, it was mostly New Testament stuff. So it was a lot of the letters from Paul. So like Romans, Ephesians, Galatians, and then the book of James. They're all kind of like not that long, but they give you like it's crazy. Like if I would tell anybody if they were trying to read the Bible, like the last thing you want to do is read the Bible front to back. And I'm probably gonna get flack from somebody for saying that, but just saying like it's really difficult to understand the point of it if you don't like go to the right sections first and then go back. Because if you go to the beginning of the Bible, it's like a lot of stuff is like this person was the son of this person, and then God sent them to destroy this, and then that seed became this person. It's like a lot of like.
Actually, the beginning of the Bible makes no sense if you really put it in perspective.
I mean, like you get past the Genesis, past when you get like the creation and all that stuff. Like there's like a whole chapter that just tells you the succession of families and kingdoms that fell and raised, and they're literally like one sentence apiece. The sentence will literally say, Isaac was the son of blah 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 who gave birth to this person, and then the next sentence is this person gave.
But they don't tell us how they got there, because you start with Adam and Eve, then they have Cain and Abel, but then it says Cain killed Abel and went off and found a wife. How? If it was only Adam and Eve and then Cain and Abel.
I don't know. I think after that they talk about Babylon and a bunch of other cities that were like that got spread apart, because weren't there like several families that?
But that's what I'm saying. They teach us Adam was the first man, then Eve was the first woman, then they had Cain and Abel. Cain kills Abel, and this goes on to find a wife. So there was other people, and they didn't tell us about them.
I just want to know how'd you start smoking cigarettes? That's what I was just trying to.
Yeah,
I think he's getting there.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it all the way around. Right. So I don't know that the Bible describes them as the only man and woman. I think it describes them as the first, and that they were in a specific place that they were then exiled out of. I don't know that it says that when they were exiled that there weren't anybody that wasn't living in paradise that was living in this world, because the description of the world outside of Eden is basically the world that we live in now. What does Feature say? So they were just it's an evil world we live in. Like so outside of that.
I like how you went from the Bible to future. It's good.
Yeah,
good.
It's like it helps you understand.
The book
like
of future.
Yeah, the world's not heaven. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of spiritual wickedness out there. There's a lot of like bad influence, a lot of like terrible crimes and shit that happens in the world. And I think what happened was that small group of people, those 3 or those 4 or those 2 actually, my bad, were exiled out of that world, and that's how we got to where we are right now.
Maybe they was aliens. Maybe they were just the first humans.
Who knows, yo? That's why I was saying it's good to read the letters from Paul first. If you could Google that, it's a few short books, and it's a dude that used to be a persecutor of. Hold on, it's a dude that used to be a persecutor of Jews, killed people that or I'm sorry, not Jews, of Christians, people that believed in Christ, and then he came around and started writing these letters to explain what Jesus' message was. And so once you get that, it makes a lot of other things make sense. Now back to the sabbatical thing. I read those books, not because they were the. Damn, I never noticed this doll that you have of yourself right here. They don't talk about like how to quit cigarettes, but it was a good thing for me to learn at a time when I was trying to become dependent on something else. And so we basically went out there. We went. Got on some jet skis, got massages, chilled, went with my wife, tried to stay off social media a lot. And I just read, and when I came back, I had been 2 weeks without cigarettes, and it just made it a lot easier. And I won't say I haven't smoked one more cigarette since then, but like, man, I used to be 2.5 pack a day smoker. Yeah.
Why not just smoke weed? Cigarettes is a disgusting habit to have.
They're way, way different. I don't know if you probably never smoked a cigarette, but it's way, way, way different than smoking weed. Like, for anybody that's ever quit smoking cigarettes, you know that when you smoke weed, trying to smoke weed in place of smoking cigarettes, you damn near quit smoking weed because you get way too high. Like you smoke a cigarette to, get a buzz or just like feel, just to calm yourself down or whatever it is. And
a lot of people say it's just an oral fixation. You just like to have things in your mouth.
Oral fixation, also like
nicotine is very addictive.
And so that's the reason why these jewels aren't good for you, is because this is just concentrated nicotine with no like means of like weaning yourself off of it. It's not like a plan. You just go buy nicotine now and just do it. So this shit is just as addictive. My wife wants me to be done with this by the end of the month. So
another sabbatical.
Yeah, I want to, yo. It was nice, yo. It's nice to get away and have something to read while you're out there. I'm not really like some people are always like thrown off by this. Just like when I said that my diet's not great. I don't read books probably like I should.
Really?
So like,
you ever try Audible?
Yeah, I'm getting into books on tape or whatever. Like my homie Colina's like super big on the books on tape. So I'm finna try and listen to some stuff while I read with it. That was actually how I read Dreams from My Father was a book on.
If you like podcasts, you can do Audible.
Yeah, I do like podcasts.
5 minutes too, so I know you got a couple of
I want to ask him about you pledged $1 million to Chicago Mental Health Service,
yeah,
which I thought was very, very dope.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so Social Works is my nonprofit in Chicago, and we do a lot of work with everybody, but mainly with the youth and with homeless and transient youth, but homeless population across the board in the city. We also do education and and civic work, like learning how the system works, and then also we have like a vacation Bible school that we started. Well, we started funding 6 years ago, but it's been around for 40 years. So this newest thing is called My State of Mind, and it's an initiative that we started this past year. And basically, what we did was I put up $1 million, and $600,000 went to 6 different mental health facilities in Chicago that we're going to be announcing at the end of the month. And then the really cool part, and this is only for the first year. After this, it'll go back to being a regular cohort where everybody gets $100,000. But we took $400,000 and created this dope app that we're going to be releasing at the same time at the Social Work Summit. And basically, the My State of Mind app works kind of like a Yelp review of all the mental health facilities and wellness centers in not only the city or the county, but the whole state.
Dope.
And the issue is like when people try and find help, the place they go is Google, right? Mm-hmm. And they give you numbers for places like the reason why we made this was I had a homie, I don't have to say his name, but he was going through some mental health issues, and we were trying to find a home for him, and it was ridiculously difficult for me myself making calls and telling people who I am to find a home, a space for him to stay in for a while, because they have a lot of like these homes that are privatized or bought, and they use them as like rehabilitation places for people to stay when they can't stay with their parents, or like they don't have somebody that can really take care of them. And just finding out how hard that was, and then finding out this big web of like there's so many different styles. So outside of just like a public like government owned like the county rehab or wellness center, there's like a lot of independent, like black owned on the south side and west side of Chicago as like places that aren't getting no funding. And beyond not getting no funding, they're not getting no advertising. So nobody knows that the help is there. So what we wanted to create was basically a directory that's fun to use, that has like a lot of interactivity in it.
Gotcha. To
let you like speak on exactly how you feel, and then find like there's like karate places that'll that like deal with mental wellness, mm-hmm. or there's like like hip hop classes for young folks, mm-hmm. that deals with mental wellness. So like putting all those things in one space, and also obviously like the official places that are funded by the state or by the city, and letting everybody have access to it.
What made you want to do that? Was it because of your own personal struggles, or just people you know? Or
yeah, I would say that those are the same things. So like, I haven't been like ever diagnosed with depression or anxiety or anything, but I would definitely say that I felt those things. Yeah, and I think so on a large level, I think it's the stigma associated with it. So like the fact that a lot of us don't want to go get help or admit that we need to get help, and so maybe that's a possibility why I've never been diagnosed or never had official Xanax medication. But there's also like, I think like what you were just saying about having people that are my friends or family that are dealing with it, and they don't know where to go. My family doesn't know where to send them. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, so taking away the stigma, advertising every single place possible, and making it normal. So it's like, oh yeah, I'll sign up for a little yoga class because I'm feeling sad. Like it makes you like pick an emoji. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's a real cool app. Right. And but it's like having that go out for the city and the state, I think it'll start to go to other places. So shout out to Joe Budden. We've been, in conversation about bringing it to Jersey. Shout out to G Herbo. He's been a huge help. And because it's like you literally got to go out and find each place. Like every place isn't advertised on Google. Every place isn't even in the city directory. So we would host these meetings at our office where we would advertise on my social media and other people to come out and give all the information that they know. And then we got all the experts in the city and county to come out and give us all the information that they knew. Just keep putting it together till it's...
Now, my daughter's a huge fan. I know you got to go. So 2 questions right fast. When are you going on tour? She would like to know.
Yeah, sorry.
And 2,
I saw some dates announced.
And 2, Juice. She wants to know why she can't find Juice on Spotify, Tidal, or Apple Music. She was like, that's one of her favorite joints. She can't get it.
Great. All right, so 2 questions. I'll answer the second one first. So Juice, it is available on streaming platforms, just not the way that you're used to hearing it. So Juice had, I made all my mixtapes. A lot of them, like I'm 19, 20, sometimes in high school, and you don't know all of the legal in and outs of like
so
clearing stuff. I ain't clear shit. Well, I was 19. You know what I'm saying? Like, and since then you find out like, like I got approval from I think it was Curtis Mayfield who covered the song that I sampled, but the cover is an interpolation of a John Lennon song. John Lennon passed away. His wife Yoko Ono is extremely old. She clears all of his stuff, and she's, God bless her, so she's not doing super well in terms of her health. And so it was like, it got down to the wire, and it was just like, what's the best thing that we could do with this? So what we did was I recorded a 30-second piece, because you got to have 30 seconds worth of audio for it to count as a stream. And I explained to people that all the money allocated from these streams will go towards social works and doing something positive. So if you got Acid Rap, which is available on Apple and on iTunes and on Spotify and all that shit now, make sure you play Juice at least once, real quick, just one time for the one time.
Okay.
And then the first question, yes, my tour, the Big Day Tour starts September 14th in the Bay. Come out to San Francisco. It's coming to your city, wherever you live. It's coming to you. Tickets are available in some cities on chanceraps.com. And my brother's coming out on tour with me too.
Taylor.
Okay, Taylor.
TB.
Hold on, one last quick question, because I was in the press conference with Roger Goodell and Jay-Z. Jay-Z mentioned your name a few times.
Really?
He did. He
actually wasn't on the internet.
He actually mentioned your name so much that he said, I'm saying Chance's name a lot. But would you perform at the halftime show if he asked you?
Sheesh, that's a crazy question. I wouldn't, and it's not no knock to anybody. I just think I think a word that a lot of people are using is actionable items. I don't think the Super Bowl is my actionable item. I think there's certain things that I would like to see get changed, and I work on them. And there's a lot of people that help me. Shout out to Jay-Z, who's helped me a lot since day one. But there's things that I got to do personally that I think will affect change and empower other people to affect change that would be outside of the Super Bowl.
What about the social justice component of it? Would you help with that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I have my own means of like, damn, I hate the word social justice. Let's just say like the police are killing niggas crazy, like violently, like in extreme violent ways, and they know they have body cams. I'm not saying that's all police, but I'm saying the police system.
Mm-hmm. And they're not being held accountable.
This entire system that we have in place, from how we elect a president, to how presidents make decisions, to how judges work, to how the police, the title of being a police officer, the legitimacy of being in the police union, it's not fair, right? We're all of us in this room they call us citizens. We're citizens of the state. But all the other people that I was just mentioning, a president, a judge, a police officer, they're not tried the same way. They are not considered the same type of human beings that we are. And so the first thing that has to happen is there has to become a stigma around policing that stops people from believing that if they speak up as a police officer about something that they see wrong, that
they're a traitor.
That they're a traitor, or that they'll get in trouble, or that their life is in danger. Because I don't know how many people know this. There's a lot of gangs within police. You could read about it. There's a lot of
blue
articles.
wall of silence.
Yeah,
they call it.
But they have real gangs. I'm talking about a gang, like a gang. Not we always say the police are the biggest gang. I'm talking about individual gangs within the same police unit that are into it. They don't fuck with each other. They have their own shit that goes on. We're all humans, so like we're all subject to the evil of the world. And so once we start to clean up that, create a stigma where people stop feeling like it's okay to do whatever they want, and we start to see convictions and start to see like an actual real criminal process like the rest of us go through if we was to up and kill somebody or God forbid harm a police officer. Once we start to see that, then that's real change happening at a real rate. And then other people can get on it. Then other people that are big names or big organizations can say, "Oh, we totally back this movement. We want to see fairness. We want to see and that allows you to uplift the right police officers. Because I know police officers. Because like I said, it's just a job. It's not a blue life. It's just you go in, clock out. You know what I mean? Police officers that have done amazing things and saved people's lives in real time. But they're not the same people as the people that are committing these crimes. And the only reason why these other people are able to commit the crimes is because the system itself allows them the space to do it. So with that being said, I'm not rapping at the Super Bowl. Don't catch me live at the Super Bowl. But I am the ambassador for NBA All-Star Weekend in Chicago.
All right.
And so that might mean that there's other announcements to be made after that. But
I like what you're doing the same way I like what Jay's doing, because you are the type of person that changes things
and
from within.
And I look up to Jay, and I call Jay when I need help.
Yeah.
So just because he watches your show.
Yeah, but you change things from within. Like you actually kick it with the politicians. You donate the politicians. I think that's dope. I think that's what's needed to make real change as far as legislation is concerned.
Yeah. And also, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to say, everybody asked their last question. I just had one last question. Still independent, but you mentioned Sylvia Rowan, and you mentioned a bag that it wasn't big enough. Yeah. So is that a consideration for you for real at this point to do something?
So I got to shout out Sylvia Rowan. There's like a few women in the industry. Shout out to Kara Lewis. Shout out to Sylvia Rowan. Shout out to Jody Gerson. These are women that I met in 2012 when I first started flying out here and taking hella meetings. And they always just been in my corner. And they're powerful women in the industry that have been around for decades. And we understand what it's like for women, especially Sylvia Rowan as a black woman in the industry. And she made it through. And so in 2012, she tried to sign me for a deal that was not a good deal.
How much was it? I'm just curious.
$120,000.
Oh my goodness.
For 6 albums.
Damn.
Thank God you didn't take that one.
Yeah, but
how much was it?
$120,000 for 6 albums.
Damn.
But I hadn't put out Acid Rap yet. This is when I was 10 Day. It came out, and I just came off tour with Donald Glover. So I had a buzz, but only in certain spaces. And certain people that were looking called me in and were like, "Hey, we want to help you out. We want to work with you." And then luckily, those 3 women specifically, even though we didn't do any business together, they still just look out for me, and I still send them Mother's Day cards every year.
Oh, that's nice.
And so I shouted out Sylvia Rowan just because it's like after 10 Day was supposed to be my debut album. And because I didn't feel right about any of the label deals, I decided to put out Acid Rap independently as a mixtape. And that blew up a lot of things for me. And then I was supposed to do my album after that, and I did Surf, and I was supposed to do my album after that, and I did Coloring Book. And so now I'm finally at my debut album. I felt like it was only right that I shout out Sylvia Rowan because she's just righteous. She's a great
So if the
woman.
bag is big enough, perhaps that's a conversation for you though.
Wow.
The only problem is with me, like I'm in a different place. Like
you'd be a fool to sign a record deal.
For one, I'd be a fool financially, and it wouldn't benefit me in any way. Right. But even if there was an astronomical number that did benefit me, and like there's like the craziest terms in the world that have never been done before, I'm at this point a beacon of that whole thing. And so everything is about, like I said, narrative and how you're represented. So there's people in the industry that are not like Sylvia Rowan that want to see this all fall apart so that they can prove that you need them in order to make it work. So I would say to anybody out there that's an independent artist, my number one piece of advice, don't sign a record deal. Don't sign a distribution deal. Don't sign a publishing deal. Don't sign a management deal. Hire the people that you need to work with you. pick out your goals and go get them done. And you could get them done, and it'll work, and you'll connect with your fan base, and you'll make money. And your rise will be as fast or as slow as you want it to be, but you'll be in a great position. And another piece of advice, go on one of those little websites. I don't want to like specific. I'll say a few of them that I know, so it's not like I'm advertising. But Ditto, DistroKid, TuneCore. You can go onto those websites. This for everybody listening that's an artist. You can go to that website right now, any of those websites right now, pay $10 a year, and now your music's on
every platform.
Spotify, SoundCloud, Tidal, Apple Music, iTunes, everywhere that's like one of the main barriers of entry. A lot of people think you got to sign a deal before you could even do that. So like once you start to realize how many things are not like decided by a label, you could do United Masters too. And then you got radio play.
Oh, Steve Stout likes that.
That's my boy. Shout out to Steve Stout. That's my boy. But you can. There's a lot of things that you could do without the label deal that you could just pay into, keep it pushing. And then my third one, go with God, yo. This industry not
Guy?
God.
Oh, God. I was like, guy.
No, the opposite of a
God,
guy.
by the way.
The opposite of guy. The opposite of man. Go with God, right? Because for one, this industry is not holy, yo. It's of this world, and it presents you every opportunity to be the opposite of what God wants you to do. And so the great thing about God, though, is that even with every barrier or thing that gets thrown your way, you will literally move through that shit, around that shit, on top of that shit. You'll get to where exactly where he wants you to go. You just gotta
listen to him.
You gotta trust. Exactly. You gotta listen to him no matter how hard that shit gets. And it'll get hard. It'll not make sense. It'll make you feel like, yo, God, let me just do this one time. But it's like if you don't falter, if you rock with him, man, you'll see great success.
And that voice isn't loud either.
It's not.
That's what people don't realize, and he's not gonna repeat himself.
Exactly.
Or she's not gonna repeat it.
Exactly. You have to keep a wide open ear and a wide open heart for whatever's coming your way. And if he tells you to run as fast as you can, take off.
There you go.
If he tells you to sit down, sit
your ass
down.
down.
Exactly.
And I think you need to turn a big day into a stage play starring puppets.
Ooh.
Yes.
Produce that with me, because I know you're getting a lot of money at this point.
I'm doing okay in life.
I know you are.
I don't think that would be dope. Because I said before, I said Chance makes music that makes puppets dance, and that wasn't a diss. It's just that when you hear it, it's like a happy thing.
Yeah.
You should do a stage play.
I've always been
puppets.
I've always been in the theater. I've always been into writing and directing, like working with actors and like coming. That was my favorite part of this album. If I could flex a little bit, I wrote those skits on the album. And there's been like people that like, because I am like a little bit in the theater world, that have reached out to me and given me a little kudos, give me a little pat on the back, and it's like, I love exposition, but when it's done in a good way. Exposition is like when you like explain like who the character is and the surroundings and everything, but without being too on the nose. I love good dialogue, even though there's only one skit where there's actual back and forth, and I love being able to write stories that put you in a place. So like I feel like my best talent on the album was being able to create an entire setting when people listen to the album and it's just an a cappella skit of Keith David talking and feel like I'm in this room or I'm outside or the sound effects are right and stuff. So I feel like that was a good trial run for my first like real putting my right. I've done other stuff with skits, but this is probably on the largest scale. And yeah, now I'm definitely ready to start writing some.
And puppets make it more digestible.
Puppets are
You don't want to do
good.
animation. You don't want to do real people. Puppets. I'm telling you.
Puppets are good. I actually did a whole tour with puppets before. Yeah,
Really?
Yeah. I did a whole tour that I put together in a month and a half with dialogue, and HaHa Davis starred in it. So what I did was I had all these people come to Chicago because I wanted to bring a choir out on tour with me for a coloring book, but I didn't have the money to hire a choir to go with me. So what I did was I brought in a choir to Chicago, pre-recorded all the vocals, and then I got these animatronic puppets that, you know, like work on a timer, and just had them basically be a fake choir that popped up. Then I had like another puppet that would come out that was named Lady Dame, and she would come talk to me, and then I'd do Same Drugs on the piano with her as a duet. Then I had this big giant lion in the back named Carlos, which is haha Davis's real name. It's a stupid joke. Like no one would ever get that. But his name was Carlos, and he'd come out. He was a giant lion. And he'd talk to me, and I had to pre-write that script and like remember my lines and like make sure that he was timed and like go back and forth with old pre-recorded haha every night on stage. And it was fun. It was dope.
That's dope.
But yeah, I definitely want to get into more writing and definitely get that Big Day album.
Yes.
And
we appreciate you for joining us too, man.
I haven't been here in so long. Yo, I needed to come back.
I know.
Well,
Send
thank
our
you.
love to Kristen also.
I will.
Yeah, don't make sure you come a little sooner. Don't make it. How long has it been? 3 years?
Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been
Jeez.
since 2014.
All right. Well, Chance the Rapper, we appreciate you again.
Yeah, appreciate y'all, man.
The Big Day is out now, and it's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.